Uh, Benjamin Wright, or Benji Wright, as everyone knows me, or Opa as I'm known in the industry. Yeah, we've been a brand and manufacturing for well over 10 years, mainly in the manufacturing side of things. More recently we started distributing as well to vape stores. First and foremost, we work with our customers because we don't do so much co-packing, contract packing and contract manufacturing for various brands all over South Africa and some international brands. We work closely with them with regards to their recipes and the ingredients that they want to use and what their recipes require. So it's about sourcing the right ingredients for them, be it from glycerin, propylene glycol, specific concentrates, specific brands of concentrates. And what normally would happen first is samples would be made for the customer. The customer would test them, prove them that it's up to their standard and that it is to the quality that they want it to be, and that they're happy with the taste and the flavor. Flavor, as you know, is very important for the end consumer. Then we would go over to larger sourcing of ingredients, and then to full production. Obviously, things like labels and packaging, the color of bottles, all of those things are quite important for customers because you buy with your eyes, and that's important. And then, the customer would commission us for specific volumes of orders. The orders would go into the queue for our laboratory. They would then receive an order, start production on the liquid. These days we're mostly doing long fills. The largest part of the industry, I think, have changed over to long fills. Then once the product is mixed and bottled, it would go to labeling and coding. We code all our bottles with a batch number, as well as it depends on the customer. Some customers prefer use by or expiry date, which is normally 1 to 2 years. And then from there it gets either shelved and ready to be ordered, or it would go into packaging and shipped off to the customers. So many customers, be it local in South Africa or abroad, might not have the facilities, for instance, air regulated or filtration in a clean space like a ISO 7 certified air laboratory with positive air pressure like we have here. They would then outsource the manufacturing, so they either have an idea, from there we can help them develop recipes and flavors to their specification, or they already have recipes ready, they just do not have the facilities. And that's where they then would come to us, and we assist them anywhere from sourcing the right packaging, assisting them with the design of labels, and then we pretty much do the manufacturing for them. In NewLab we have one in-house brand that's completely a NewLab Industries brand. It's called Newlix, and that is our in-house brand. We have a few spin-off, 1 or 2 spin-off brands. Obviously, I've got another company, Vapor Mountain. We are also members of Apasa, and we have our own brand, which is separate to NewLab Industries. But yeah, Newlix is our pride and joy for our in-house brand. I think with manufacturing, firstly, the size and the capacity of the bottles changed quite a bit. I think it went from 30 mils to 60 mils, from there to 100 and then 120 mils. And then we've got the whole salt nicotine revolution. Then packaging started coming down again to a popular size of 30 mil for the salt nicotine. And then we had, or currently have, disposable devices, which forms a large part of the industry. Most of those are imported from China. So we specialize in manufacturing of the liquid this side, and more specifically the long fills. Through all of this, flavor has been paramount, and that's what people prefer. So if you look at trends over the years, in the beginning, of our journey, it's been more tobacco style flavors, but since then it's been fruit flavors, minty flavors, cool ice flavors, those kind of things that keep people off cigarettes, and that's very important, the flavor part of things. Yes, so freebase nicotine, standard nicotine as it's always been since vaping started, has a slightly what we call a throat heat, so it's slightly more throaty. From that perspective, it mimics a cigarette, the throatiness of it, whereas salt nic is much smoother, so you can go quite a bit higher in the nicotine without having an impact on the throat or a scratchiness on the throat. The other important difference between the two is that salt nicotine is taken up into the bloodstream much quicker. So from that perspective, it's closer to a traditional burning tobacco or a traditional cigarette. Once you take a drag or two, it's that satisfaction from the nicotine happens much quicker than it would be with freebase. The effect of salt nicotine is so similar to a traditional cigarette, and I think that's why it's so successful in converting smokers to vaping. The level of the nicotine in salt nicotine is usually higher. You get your 30 milligram and a 40 and a 50, whereas your freebase you normally go from 2-3 milligram up to maybe 6, 12 and 18 maximum. Look, I do think most, or if not all, the responsible manufacturers and players in the industry in South Africa will definitely conform to the standards as far as possible. And you know, I've had a look at the standards yesterday, and I don't think it is you know, unachievable. I think most of the standards are being followed anyways by most of the responsible manufacturers.